As children, we're often warned not to eat certain things because they're poisonous, and I started wondering if those warnings had any basis in fact, or if they were nothing but a combination of hand-me-down myths. As it turns out, most of the things I was told were poisonous were indeed, to one degree or another, poisonous. Though most will not cause death, they will often produce enough gastrointestinal distress that you might think that you're dying. So in today's video, we will be talking about 19 dangerous everyday foods that can seriously harm you if you are not careful. Number 1. Apples. Have you ever chewed the seeds when eating an apple? Then you know that unpleasant taste the seeds have. That's because of cyanide. Don't be alarmed yet. The seeds have a protective cloak covering them. That's why cyanide doesn't enter your system if you accidentally swallow the seeds. Better be cautious though. Even small doses of cyanide can result in rapid breathing and more extreme and unpleasant results. Number 2. Potatoes. Another danger lurking in your kitchen is potatoes, especially the ones with sprouts and green spots. Cutting off the green parts or sprouts solves the problem only visibly. The toxic substance called glycoalkaloid may have already spread through the whole potato. This substance turns some parts of a potato green for some reason. It's a sign for you. Eating this kind of potato can cause nausea, headaches, and other consequences. Number 3. Honey. Honey is a sweet liquid made by, I'm joking, honey is a sweet natural sweetener found in all households. But do you know that natural honey is dangerous to eat if the amount is more than a teaspoon? It has a toxin with a hard-to-pronounce name, granulotoxin. Flex it in the comments if you pronounced it correctly on the first go. To get rid of this toxin, honey has to go through a pasteurization process. Number 4. Spinach. Spinach is packed with nutrients, but did you know it can also contain oxalates? These compounds can interfere with calcium absorption and even contribute to the formation of kidney stones in some individuals. If you're prone to kidney stones, it's a good idea to consume spinach in moderation or balance it with foods rich in calcium. Number 5. Elderberries. Elderberries are known as a supplement to boost your immune system and help your body fight a cold or the flu. This medicinal plant needs to be handled and prepared with care too. If you eat unripe berries, they can do more harm than good, as they contain lectin and cyanide, which can lead to stomach issues and other unpleasant symptoms. Number 6. Cherries. Let's move on to cherry pits. If you don't chew or crunch them, you'll probably be fine. Yet keep in mind that these pits contain prussic acid, and this stuff is poisonous. Number 7. Cashews. Cashews can also be very risky to eat when they're raw. You probably get cashews from stores with raw cashew labels, but they aren't 100% raw. Before they find their spots on the shelves, they're processed with steam to remove a toxin called urushiol. So, what happens if you eat raw cashews? If you're prone to allergies, consuming them could trigger a severe allergic reaction, especially if you're sensitive to substances like poison ivy, which contains the same toxin. Number 8. Ackee fruit. What about ackee fruit? It's the national fruit of Jamaica, and it turns out unripe ackee contains a poison called hypoglycin. Ackee fruit must be fully ripe if you want to eat it. It'll split wide open to the highly toxic pink flesh or black seeds, and the delicious creamy pulp near the seeds. Eating this fruit incorrectly can cause Jamaican stomach sickness. Number 9. Tapioca. Are you a bubble tea fan? Then maybe you're familiar with cassava, aka tapioca. This is a root veggie cultivated in South America. It's also often used to make cakes and chips. It can be either sweet or bitter. It's common for root and tuber varieties of cassava to contain toxins. Tapioca must be prepared properly before you consume it. If it's served incorrectly or eaten raw, the consequences are pretty serious. But when it's processed correctly, it's delicious and safe to eat. Number 10. Popcorn. This one makes me sad more than any other thing on the list, and this list includes a lot of healthy products. Anyway, here I spell it out about popcorn. There are many studies saying that microwave popcorn is harmful for you. First, you consume the chemicals used in packaging. There are also flavoring additives that aren't healthy. It can lead to irreversible lung damage, for instance. There's a diagnosis named popcorn lung. A chemical used to provide microwave popcorn with its buttery flavor is related to that diagnosis. What can you do? Choose other packaging options or invest in an air popper. Air-popped popcorn has only 90 calories and less than 1 gram of fat. Number 11. Fugu. Fugu is the Japanese word for puffer fish, and the dish prepared from it. What's interesting about this dish is that it can be the last dish in your life if you don't prepare it properly. This fish contains a very powerful toxin that's very dangerous to humans. A single fish has enough poison to harm 30 people. Because of this, Japanese chefs undergo years of training to get a special license. Despite all precautions and preparations, fugu still sometimes becomes the last meal for some people. Number 12. Mushrooms. For plenty of people, pizza and pasta wouldn't be so great without mushrooms. We all know that mushrooms are kind of unpredictable, especially if they grow in the wild. Here are two of the most dangerous ones: the death cap and the destroying angel. Number 13. Rhubarb. Rhubarb leaves are a bit tricky too. You can eat the stalk, but don't munch on the leaves. The leaves contain oxalic acid, which binds to calcium. This makes it harder for the body to absorb the needed amounts of calcium. Number 14. Kidney beans. Speaking of raw food, raw kidney beans are risky too. They contain a toxin called lectin. This one can give you stomach aches and other digestion-related issues. As a bonus, all you need is to swallow 4 to 5 raw beans to experience these side effects. Red beans are rich in plant-based protein, essential vitamins, and minerals. Cook them correctly to enjoy these goodies. For this, keep dried red beans on the stove for at least 10 minutes. Boiling them for a shorter time and at a lower temperature can actually increase their toxicity. Beans can become even more toxic than if they are consumed raw. So yeah, a minimum of 10 minutes at high temperatures. Number 15. Starfruit. Starfruit is a risky choice for people with sensitive kidneys. If you're one of them, you might want to keep this fruit out of your meals. Regularly functioning kidneys can filter out the toxins starfruit contains. Otherwise, the toxin will hang around and cause some problems there. Number 16. Nutmeg. The next product on the list is nutmeg. If you find that nutty flavor super nice like me, hear me out before adding it everywhere. Small amounts of nutmeg are fine and healthy, but if you, let's say, eat spoonfuls of nutmeg, it can cause problems. Number 17. Seafood. Seafood is a great source of omega-3 and other things that are essential to our brain and good health. To stay safe, experts advise people to choose low-mercury seafood. Here's an interesting fact related to this. To get the most omega-3 fats from your canned tuna, choose water-packed fish instead of oil-packed. In oil-packed cans, the oil mixes with some of the tuna's natural fat. You open the can, drain the oil, and some of the fish's omega-3 fatty acids also get drained. But water and oil don't mix. Water-packed tuna won't lose its omega-3 fats. You can add some oil and dressing after you open the can. Number 18. Canned tuna. Canned tuna can be a lifesaver. It's not pricey, it's a good source of protein. And with its help, you can prepare a delicious meal quickly. No cooking, just lettuce, bread, and a few more ingredients. There you go. How about 3 to 5 times a week? You might experience a side effect called mercury poisoning. Now, this is related to how much and what type of food you consume. Canned tuna contains mercury, and that's why eating too much of it can lead to mercury poisoning. Medical advisors say that every kind of fish has some level of mercury, but that level differs from one species to another. For example, canned tuna has relatively high levels of mercury. Number 19. Raw eggs. Raw eggs might seem like a convenient source of protein, but they can be risky. They may carry salmonella, a harmful bacteria that can cause food poisoning. This can lead to symptoms like nausea, vomiting, and fever. To reduce the risk, make sure to cook eggs thoroughly or opt for pasteurized eggs in recipes that require them raw, like in dressings or desserts. That's it for today. So hey, if you pacified your curiosity, give the video a like and share it with your friends. Stay safe and make smart choices in the kitchen. And subscribe for more eye-opening food facts. See you in the next video.